Welcome back to Prime Morning, and it's time to have a very good conversation. We're about to talk about the mistakes men make in relationships. We're all not perfect. I'm not perfect, and you're not perfect yourself. We make certain common mistakes that sometimes attention needs to be drawn to us that, okay, you're going the wrong way, you're going the right way, and it's very important that we do that. And we're bringing this conversation up. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the ladies as well. We're not trying to be on the men alone. And this morning I have Reverend Selassie with me. How are you doing, sir? Good morning.
I'm doing good. Doing good. Thank you.
It's nice to meet you in the first place.
It's a blessing.
Let's have a very great conversation now. We're all not perfect. Let's establish that right now.
That's right.
I make mistakes.
Yes.
There's some things that when I get into a relationship, I'll definitely forget about.
Yeah.
And because probably you're carried away by emotions and your dopamines are high and everything. And sometimes life and situations cause you to be different at some point in your life.
That's right.
And then so you get a little bit flustered or distracted or overly hyped and then probably forget to leave the person behind. Women have our faults.
Yes.
Oh, but men, they have their faults as well. And
beautiful.
That's what we're going to be talking about this morning.
Thank you.
Now, the first thing I want to find out is, why can't relationships just be easy? Okay. Because when you start off, it seems so sweet.
Yes.
Then maybe after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it just gets so complicated. Why?
Well, first of all, this is how it turns out to be. Everything operates by rules. Everything operates by rules. And so when you don't know the rules of the game, you start off excited. And when the rules of the game start to catch up with you, then the mistakes start to happen. So one of the main problems we have, both men and women, is that we don't study relationships. We don't. There are rules that guide relationships.
Rules?
Yes.
I thought it was supposed to be a free-flowing thing. Like, I'm in love, you love me, I love you, or I have a good vibe with you. Let's get along, let's have a great time and everything. All of a sudden, there are rules guiding it?
Yes, everything is run by rules. I mean, not definite rules put there by any laws, but generally for it to work, for anything to work, there are some imaginary rules that guide it. And so love has rules that guide it. So
can we talk a little bit about the rules before we move on to the mistakes? Because at least we need to look at something before we dissect the bad stuff. Okay.
So now, the rules of love is that this is a game that's between two different genders, a man and a woman.
Yes.
Men are very different from women, and women are very different from men. So the first rule is that we have to identify differences. We have to identify differences and play by the differences. If you don't accept that I'm loving somebody who is different from me, I'm going to flow with somebody who is thinks differently, responds differently, acts differently. If that truth is not established, you are in for trouble. Yes.
Earlier on you made mention of something. I just lost my train of thoughts, but let me come back to that.
Okay.
You were talking about, can't I just date somebody who I'm similar with?
Similar in what sense?
Like, we have the same character traits. We seem to be introverts. Probably we don't like going out much. We don't talk a lot. Can't I date somebody just like me and everything be simple?
Yes. You can have somebody, you're an introvert, and then you fall in love with somebody who is also introverted. But the male version of an introvert is different from the female version of an introvert. So definitely both are introverts or both are extroverts. But the male version, what the male introvert is and what he brings to the table is definitely different from what the female introvert is. So yes, we don't like going out, we don't talk much, we don't like a lot of trouble, but there is some iota of difference between who a male introvert is and who a female introvert is. So that difference, we have to establish the fact that whatever similarity it is, there are still some differences.
I see. Well, now, let's talk a little bit about the mistakes that men make. Let's zoom into that. Let me state this. Women also make mistakes.
Definitely.
I want to look at it. What are some of the things I've experienced it?
Okay.
I'm sure you yourself, somebody has brought it to your attention, whether your wife, your exes and stuff like that, they brought it to your attention.
Yes.
But can you state a little of some of the mistakes that men make?
Okay. First of all, I think that foundation affects everything. Foundation. When the foundation is wrong, right, the structure will be faulty. And so when you start a relationship, how you start it or the basis from which you start it matters. Now, when a man chooses a woman, your reasons for your choice is very important. So if you choose beauty over virtues, right, you are going to make mistakes. The Bible says, of course, I'm a pastor, so
yes.
you expect a few verses.
Yeah.
The Bible says that charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. But the woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised.
But Pastor, let's pause there a bit.
Okay.
Charm is deceitful, beauty is vain.
Yes.
But we get attracted by,
what we see.
Yeah, but what we see.
Yes.
Men I get attracted by what they see first.
Exactly.
Then they make a first move by
Yes.
saying, oh, hi, how are you? I introduce myself.
Yes.
Then you get to know the person.
That's right.
And then I just got my train of thoughts just back when you
Okay.
said foundation. Because when you meet someone,
Yes.
you said we don't get to understand each other properly, then we just kick off with the game.
Yes.
Does that affect the foundation as well?
Exactly. So when you meet somebody, you get excited about maybe you like the looks, you like what you see, right? You don't start off with dating. You have to build friendship, right? That's what the problem is. You see a nice girl in town. Oh, I like this girl. It's a slim, tall, fair girl. I like it. I think I would like to date her. That's a wrong basis to start off. You need to build friendship because first of all, you are overwhelmed by what you see. And you are likely to ignore a lot of red flags because you are overwhelmed by her looks, you are overwhelmed by her voice, you are overwhelmed by her shape. And so when you are so into what you see, that's what we men are. We are actually triggered by sight. And so when you see this girl, you like what you see and all that, and you can't set that aside and build friendship. Let's talk. How do you think? How do you process? How do you respond to pressure? How do you handle issues? What are your responsibilities? What are your interests? If you don't get to build friendship, you are going to run that relationship on emotions and beauty. And the Bible says that charm is deceitful. What's overwhelming you will fade away sometime. Or I mean, in a few years time, you meet somebody more charming or more beautiful.
But someone would say, but I met her, we got to, interact a bit.
Yes.
Me deciding that I want to date her means maybe I can study her before I even open my mouth. Somebody would say, well, that's my thought. I want to date her.
Yes.
It's up in my head.
That's good.
So I just want to draw closer.
Yes.
Sometimes you meet the person and if you have a vibe, you don't quickly ask the person out. You get closer to the person.
Yes.
Now probably, somebody after 2 days, 3 days, they get to shoot there. So somebody say, 2 days, I can pick up a few hints if I want or not.
Yes, that's good. So when you start to interact with the person, so you see this girl you like, right? The vibes are on, you start to interact. What I'm trying to say is that when you begin to see red flags, don't stay, because you like the shape. The shape is nice, the face is nice, her voice is okay. I don't want to lose this shapy girl. And you see lots of red flags. So it's like, no, I'm choosing her virtue. I prefer her character. I prefer her attitude over this beauty.
Wow. Okay. Now we've mentioned one of the mistakes men make, and you say it's foundation, right?
Yeah.
So let's move out to the other ones.
Yeah. Men in relationship must learn to respect their women. Learn to respect.
Can you say that again?
A man must learn to respect his girl. What it is that men are built up for respect, and so when a woman is in a relationship with a man and she doesn't bring respect to the table, no matter how beautiful you are, no matter how well you can cook, no matter how nicely you talk, if respect is lacking, you are losing the man. So we are built for respect, but we forget that we have to offer respect as well. And so you find a man who is soliciting for respect from the woman and he's abusing her. He's disrespecting her. He's not interested in how she feels. This woman is communicating her feelings. There's something that's disturbing her. But you keep ignoring her. I mean, one of the things they say is that maybe she's complaining or she's nagging.
Oh yeah, they don't even say complaining. Nagging is the word.
Exactly. But when a woman is nagging or complaining, there's a whole lot of message in that, right? So you have to listen to her complaints. Listen. Men don't listen, and we take sides and we start to judge. So if you respect your woman, you will not cheat on her. Yes.
That's also one of the mistakes they make.
Yes, it's out of disrespect. You disrespect her person and her place in your life, and so you abuse the woman. You become violent when you respect your woman. You don't beat her up. Good men don't beat up their women. It's total disrespect to what relationships are. You don't become violent, and that's also a problem, because then conflict resolution is a problem. If the way you resolve conflict with your woman is to become violent, then something is wrong somewhere. And so men must learn to respect the woman. The Bible says that she is the weaker vessel. And so we have to understand what she brings on board, and then offer her that much. Give her time, give her affection, give her attention. That's what women are built for. They love lots of attention. If you respect her, you give her attention. You don't fight her. You don't abuse her. I mean, and also men, we must go to the school of love to learn how to respect the woman who is in our life.
There are some men that think that women, when a woman asks for attention, they feel, well, I gave you attention this morning. I've seen you in the morning. I have to go to work. I come back. I see you. They feel maybe spending an hour or two with you, or 3 hours with you is too much attention. Is there anything such as too much attention?
No, I mean from the,
or too much affection.
No, well, from the women's side, there's nothing like that. But for a man's side, men are hunters and men are project oriented, right? So for a day, he's got a number of projects to accomplish. You are one of the projects. His business is another one, right? So when he spends an hour with you, he's done with you. He's ticked
his box.
Yes, he's ticked his box with you. And the next thing is to spend time with his business, to make some money and all that. And we don't seem to understand that if I get you a new phone, if I buy you a car, if I send you cash, that's not affection for you.
No.
Right? But for a man, he's showing care. That's what it means for him. And he has to go make the money and come lavish it on you, and go back to make the money and come lavish it on you. To that, while he keeps following that process, he's caring for you.
But do men understand the fact that making the money, coming to lavish it on the lady,
yes,
isn't worth it? It's not everything. At the end of the day, she's going to get tired of getting the money and being lavished on it. Give her attention, her all to somebody else who will give her the attention. And what you're lacking by, going all the time to go chase money, do they know that?
I think we know. I can't sit and say men are not aware, but I think also that men are success driven. And so if he shows you attention, spends some time with you, you will hardly find a man who would like to spend all day with you, because he's got to give himself that success feeling. Something else must add to the success. You are one of the successes. You are one of the successes. And so he has to go out there. And also, a man prides in provision, right? And so if he spends time with you and he's not the one supporting, he's not the one giving off the money, then he loses some form of confidence in himself. And so he will prefer to go out there and give you the money than to spend all the time with you, putting his arm around you, giving you a shoulder to lean on. And when there are financial crisis, he's not the man for the moment.
I see.
Yeah.
Let's go back to more of the mistakes that they make. You've mentioned foundation and disrespect. And you broke down disrespect to a number of things.
Yes.
What else are the mistakes that
if a man enters a relationship and he's demanding for husband rights as a boyfriend, that's out of place.
What is that, husband rights?
Husband rights, okay, let me start off this with sex. It's a husband right. It's not a boyfriend's right. Right. So if you enter a relationship demanding for sex, it's like, I'm your guy. If you really love me, you've got to give me sex. That's a husband's right. It's not a boyfriend's right. And most guys make that mistake of pushing the ladies away. And you see, you find these girls who give in not because they are valueless, but because they want to prove to you that they love you. And when a girl loves you, she gives her all. But a man should, let me, in explaining this point, I want to give another point so that men must learn to manage sexuality. We have to learn to manage sexuality. And we have to develop self-control, because in developing self-control, you give the woman a reason to trust you against the day of trouble. Because a day is going to come when all odds are against you, and this woman must land on her trust for you. That when I was with you, we spent time together, we went out together, but you never touched me. And so when I hear that you are spending, I mean, you need to do extra hours in the office with a fellow female colleague. I mean, she may have thoughts, but she will quickly dismiss it, because a number of times she's being with you, you never pushed for sex. You never. So we build trust by managing sexuality against the day of trouble. A day will come where your woman must remember that no, you had many opportunities to push her to the wall, but you didn't. And so it's very important. Don't push for husband rights. Don't push her to come cook for you. Don't push her to come clean your house. Don't push her to come wash your clothes. Don't push her to go do groceries for you and all that. I mean, she can do that. It's nice if she comes around and she sees that your house is in a mess and says, "Oh, I'll put it in order for you." That's nice. Once in a while she's come to visit you, she cooks at home, she packages it and brings it to you. That's beautiful. But you can't demand that every week come cook for me. Come do my laundry for me. I mean, it's those are husband benefits.
The reason why I'm giggling is quite funny, because nowadays even our mothers feel that, like, won't you go to his house and go and help him? Like, you see that, his family will see you come around and all you do is come and sit in his room, probably watch TV. When you eat, you don't wash anything or wash dishes or come and help in the kitchen. This girl is lazy. So most ladies are forced to do that.
Yeah.
So where does a lady draw the line? Or where does the gentleman himself say, okay, let me stand up and say, no, don't do this for me. It's fine. You came to visit me. You didn't come to clean up for me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So build values. I mean, before you met her, you were eating.
Yes.
And before you met her, you were doing your laundry. How were you doing it?
By yourself.
Exactly. So that's the point. I'm saying that if she walks into you, she comes to visit and she sees the place in a mess and says, so let me help you put it in order. That's okay. That's fine. If she comes to your house and there's no food, she's hungry, you are hungry, you've got full stuff, and she walks to the kitchen to put a meal together, that's okay. But I'm saying that it cannot become a rule. You can't put a demand on her that you have to do my meals for me every week. Come here and do my laundry every year. I mean, those are husband benefits. It cannot be your right as a boyfriend. Yes, I get where our mothers come from. Also knowing that a woman is not in a place to engage a man. Yes. And so when you get a man, then you need to lock him up, right? So you need to prove to him that you can cook, you're a good cook, you're not a lazy girl and all that. But, I was saying last week, we're on the show talking about the mistakes women make. And I was saying one of the mistakes that we make is not to go beyond each other. When a guy meets a girl meets a guy and they're in love, they don't go beyond each other. You need to go beyond each other. Visit his home, visit his family, visit her home, visit her family. When you go to the house, there are lots of questions that to be answered. The question you are thinking about in your mind, is she lazy? Can she cook? If you visit her house a couple of times, those questions will be answered.
I like where you're coming from, but I don't want us to, leave this conversation between us. I want to invite the viewers as well. So the numbers are scrolling on the screen. You can call us. I want to hear from you. What do you think, or what experience have you had with, your ex-relationships or present relationships where a man is making a mistake and he's failing to recognize the fact that he's making a mistake? Please call us and share with us. I want to hear, what do you guys think are some of the mistakes men make, or you're experiencing it now? Share with us. Our numbers are on the screen. You can call us now. Let's talk more.
Okay.
I'm sure this is not, because I've done a few research, and talking down on a woman, belittling her, is it disrespect?
Yes.
Or is also?
It's disrespect. To belittle her intelligence, her contribution. When she makes contribution or suggestions, you find it, oh, don't bother. And you find out that in the entire relationship, the direction of the relationship is only what you say and nothing of what she contributes. She's being disrespected. It's like her intelligence is not worth it. And even if you feel as a man that whatever she says is not good enough for you, then she's not the girl for you. Because you would need you will get to a junction in your marriage, or yes, in a relationship, eventually into marriage, where you discover that I'm confused and I need a second thought. I need somebody else to make a contribution. And if her contributions are not worthwhile for you, then you shouldn't marry her in the first place.
Well, sometimes I think tradition also coming in says, a man's place is being the head, a woman is, places in the kitchen. Do you think that thing is something we grew up with, so it's affected men and they behave that way?
I think so. And so we are looking at the church and then parents retraining men, because we confuse headship with rulership. It's like we become domineering. We are the head of the marriage or the relationship, but it doesn't necessarily mean domineering.
We have a call on the line. Okay. That's Nana Minta from Honey Valley. How are you doing? Good morning. Oh, I lost him. Hello, Nana? I think I lost him.
Okay.
So Nuruddin is on the line. Hello, Nuruddin. How are you? Good morning. What's happening to our phone line? Hello? Please keep calling in. Nana Minta, Nuruddin, please call us again. If you're here, you're listening, please, I want to hear from you. 0302211694.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Okay.
I want to hear more.
Okay, so you have to know what you want as a man, right? Because if you don't know the kind of woman you want and the kind of marriage you are walking into, you're going to have a problem. You need to know whether, do I want an industrious woman? Do I want a career woman? Or do I want a family woman? Because when you start a relationship and you don't make that clear, right, that, okay, I love kids, I love my family, I'm really, 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 my priority is into family.
Pastor Selassie, please hold on a minute for me. Selassie, oh, sorry, Joe is on the line. I'm sorry. I'm really enjoying my conversation with you, Joe. Good morning. Joe from Bali, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you too?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Talk to me. What do you think are some of the mistakes men make in relationships?
Okay, so first of all, like the man said, I think that one of the most biggest mistakes that we make is the sex demand, as in demanding for sex. Like you said, I think it's a husband thing, but more often boyfriends, we demand it a lot, and it drives the ladies away from us. Yeah, I think I've experienced it before, and then it's really not good. But then there is something I want to ask. Can I go ahead, please?
Please do.
All right, so you met this girl, okay? You went to their house. Actually, you didn't know her, but you went to their house to meet her father. And the father is well-to-do, so you went to solicit help from the father. And then you met this girl for like a week. Now, this girl, you talk to her, she kind of shows interest in you. Then, boom, she says, okay, she wants to come and see you. She wants to come and see where you stay. She wants to come and see your father. You feel probably she likes you something. So in this scenario, like, what are the, like, does she really like you or something? Because just got up, she wants to come and see you, she wants to come and see your parents, where you stay and all that. And from her conversation, it appears she likes you, from your judgment, actually, but you can't really tell. So, like, I want to put it to you, what does it really mean?
Oh, okay, Joe, thank you so much. Before that, Richard's on the line. Hello, Richard.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my dear?
I'm fine.
Please talk to us. What do you think?
To say something. Yes, I'm with my fiancé now and then. Hello?
Yes, we're listening to you, sweetie.
My fiancé always is demanding for sex every day. And if you say it, like, he's like, oh, you don't like, he's like, you don't love me and all those things. So I don't know how to go about it, like how to tell him that it's no good and all that.
Richie, quick one. How long have you guys been together?
Only just 6 months.
For 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on, talk to us.
I don't know. I want to tell him that it's not good. Like, I want to correct him, but I don't know. Anytime I say that, oh, sex before marriage or something, then it becomes I don't love him and all those things. So I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Richie. I've got somebody from Aflawa on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Faith, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Faith, tell me what you think about what we're discussing.
Yes. I want to ask the counselor on the show.
Okay.
What about when you have a boyfriend and, like, when you go out, he doesn't want any guy or any other admirer to even look at you or for you to even exchange numbers with somebody you even know or you don't know the person or maybe a friend. He feels uncomfortable having maybe you, the lady, having friends around you.
Wow.
Most especially your male friends, let's say our past students, you know, you meet your mate somewhere and he just feels uncomfortable around you. How are you going to come out from such a relationship? And is such a relationship healthy for you as a woman? Is it a healthy relationship?
Okay, Faith, thank you so much. I have Gabriel on the line. Hello, Gabriel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Gabriel, talk to us. Tell us what you think.
Okay. Madam, is it right that when your girlfriend comes to your house and you see in mess, you should...
Gabriel, hello, come again. We didn't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, please. Please speak to us.
Hello?
Gabriel, go ahead. We can hear you. Oh, the line dropped. So can we answer some of the questions real quick?
Okay. I hope I can remember the questions.
Rachel wants sex. If Rachel says her boyfriends want sex all the time, and they've been together for 6 months now.
Yes.
And then her response to it is not healthy for her.
Yes.
And his attitude is towards her is she doesn't love him.
Yes.
What do you think?
So he doesn't love her because he's confused. His priorities are misplaced.
Ooh.
What I'm saying is that men are more sexually driven than women. And when you put sex in the fore, you are confusing the whole relationship because all the other values will not be well built up. And you are going to base that entire relationship on passion. And if passion drives your relationship, you can't build well with terms of friendship and values and connection. You can't connect, we can't relate, we can't talk because you are putting passion before. And that's wrong. And you are also confusing the girl because then you are explaining to her that the only way she can love you is to give sex. Oh, wow. And if she's not giving sex, she's not loving you. But there are different ways that the woman loves the man.
Nana from Abetifi is on the line. Hello, Nana. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing quite very well.
Please share with us what your thoughts are on what we're discussing.
Yeah, thank you very much for nice talking to you. This is my first time on this. Yes. I'm talking about this issue personally, my personal mistakes. So I think it will also help. First of all, when you are in a relationship as a man, you don't have to give your woman too much room to operate. Most of them, they abuse it, they intend to abuse it. For instance, it happened to me when I was in a relationship with someone about 3-4 years. I gave her the room. I didn't want to be strict on her too much. But later on, it turned out that he was having even an affair with my best friend.
Oh, wow.
And secondly, when I was about to take a major decision in terms of acquiring land for future The second person who came into my life said, oh, when we are in need of money to go and do wedding, you are thinking about buying land. And because of that, I could have purchased about 3 or 4 plots. And because of what he said, I bought only one. And later on, it turned out to affect me in the future because that only plot I purchased became the cornerstone for me as of now. And thirdly, when you are in a relationship, we shouldn't say this is how the person is. So when we get married or something, I will do my best to change the person. Most of the time, it doesn't tend to work in that way. Because, for instance, me, I'm a graduate from a university. My wife is someone who graduated at the FS, and now even reading and other things becomes a challenge. I was thinking that, I will help her too, but anytime I try to help her, it doesn't work. It doesn't. And meanwhile, the father of my in-law is a professor, and now he's even a president in a private institution in Ghana here. But look at how it's like he didn't put in much effort to help the lady.
Yeah.
And now the only option left for her is maybe learn how to trade and do something.
Wow.
Yes. So sometimes when we are going into a relationship, we shouldn't just overlook certain things. We should take everything very serious. Some may put up even some attitude. You may think that, maybe this is the first time. You need to sit back, study the person quite very well before you enter into a relationship with the person. Because you may think that the person may change, or maybe this is the first time. No. So most of the time, it turns out to be how the person really is.
Nana, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for calling. Even this is your first time. Thank you for joining us. And I have Elizabeth, who is our last caller on the line. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Thank you so much for holding on for so long. I'm very grateful. Elizabeth, talk to us.
Okay. I'm Elizabeth, and I want to tell you about my past relationship with
yes, dear. Go ahead.
Man.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this guy was also demanding for sex, and I left him. I just left him. But right now, my recent dating, my uncle introduced me to a guy, and unfortunately, he has gone outside. So the very nice guy that I'm still waiting for him. But nowadays, he has changed. He keep on asking me for news. I should send him my naked pictures. I should send him stuff like. This is a guy that all my family knows him, and has become a burden to me.
Okay.
Right now, I'm becoming scared. I'm confused. I don't know what to do.
Thank you. How long have you guys? How long were you together before he left?
Oh, about a year. We were a year. Yeah, we were getting to a year before he left. But now we are getting to 3 years now.
3 years. Yeah. Well, before he left, did you discuss marriage or anything?
Yeah, we discussed marriage. He came home to see my parents. Everybody knows him.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much,
and
Elizabeth.
We never had sex before he left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll let Pastor address this particular situation, the question you asked right now. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you all that called. Those who called and the line dropped, I'm really sorry, but thank you so much for contributing. Pastor Selassie.
Okay.
Now we need to talk about these things.
Where do we start
especially from Elizabeth's on, because she was
okay.
the one who we just finished with.
Okay.
They met for a while. They were together for a year before he left and went abroad. It's been 3 years now.
Yes.
Now he said he's changed, asking for nude photos and stuff like that, and it's become more of a burden for her. In such a situation, what does she do?
Well, there's a problem. There's a problem because this is a red flag. We are having a moral issue right there, and probably I don't know. Maybe he's trying to say that this is what can settle my emotions. If you send me nude pictures and look at it, I'm fine. But there's a problem there. One of the things you are going to discover in the marriage later on is that you are going to see nude pictures on his phone from some other places. Right, this is a red flag. If you're going to be okay with it later on in life, then that's fine, you can go on. But you should not be confused. I don't understand why people are confused. It's something is not working for you, that's why you feel confused. When you say, I'm confused, something is not working for you. And you have to take a decision around that thing. I will manage it, or I'm working out of the relationship. That's another problem, that people find it difficult to walk away from relationships. Yes. And then you stay in that, oh, he's met my parents, people know him, we've gone too far, and so we can't separate. Then you take the relationship further into marriage, and you discover that the people for which you couldn't walk away will not be with you in the marriage. Yes. And will not be, there will be nowhere when your issues are popping up. So when you have a red flag, it's something to really, really, really consider, because God will not allow you into a marriage without showing you what you have to see before, all the time.
And Faith also called earlier on. She called Poma Flower, and she was asking her boyfriend doesn't like her meeting people. When they go out, she meets people of the opposite sex.
Yes.
She doesn't like him interacting with them. She doesn't even like her taking their numbers and stuff like that. What do you advise?
That's an insecure man. He has a strong sense of insecurity because he's not too sure of his fate or his position. So probably you are also not giving him so much assurance that I can be talking to James, but you are my guy. I can be out there with Peter, but get it all. It's all settled. You are my guy. Maybe he's not gotten that much assurance. That's from the woman. When I flip it the other way, then he has a problem of insecurity, and he wants to just keep the woman to himself because probably something is not working for him. And from the moment he got you, he wants to just lock you up with him. That's a problem. It's going to affect you in a marriage because he's going to disconnect you from other relationships. And you cannot thrive well as a woman. You cannot thrive well as a woman stayed with just your man. You need to relate. You need to be exposed. You need to go out there and talk to people. And your man must trust you enough that if you are out there, your heart is still with him.
I see. Now, Joe also called. He said, he called earlier and mentioned that he had met a girl.
Yes.
And he went in the process of looking for someone to facilitate a business for him. He met the father. I think the father, and then he ended up meeting the girl.
Okay.
Now the girl is asking to come over to his house, meet his family, get used to him. And he wanted to find out if those signs meant that she liked him.
No, that's a very good sign. I mean, that's a good girl in the first place, because I said earlier on that when you meet somebody, you start to like each other and you're thinking of dating, you need to go beyond the person. Go beyond the person. Visit his home, visit his family, know his brother, know his sister, know his cousins. Go beyond the person. There are questions you can't answer with him, just the two of you. So I think that the girl is being intelligent and that's it. She wants to know you outside you.
Yeah.
And that's fine. She's a good girl.
Now, quickly, Richie's situation, I'm not sure we landed properly. So her boyfriend keeps asking for sex.
Richie.
And they've been together for only 6 months. And that's he says if they don't have sex, it means she doesn't love him.
No. Richie is the lady who called?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are really, really interested in a relationship that leads to marriage and you're going to be happy, there's not a relationship for you.
I see. Now, let me ask you one very important thing. Sometimes we miss out the red flags and the mistakes that they're making right there in front of us.
Yeah.
And then we quickly, like you say, we've gone too far, we've come this far, he's met my people, he's come to he's come to do knocking, he's picked up the list and everything. Then we get into marriage and the red flags keep popping up more than ever.
That's right.
What do you do? And this is what most people are running out of now. Do you want to break up and stuff?
What do you do in terms of?
Now that you're there, you're in the marriage now.
In marriage?
Yes.
Well, that's going to be a problem because once in the marriage, you don't have much to do. I think that you need to seek for counseling. That's also another problem. Men don't like to be counseled.
Yeah. Men
don't appreciate external advice, external input, because we are meant to solve problems internally. And so when there's a problem, he wants to solve it within the home. And these problems are repeating. So men don't want to go out there to sit before another man to tell them how to run his home. It's a no-go area for men. So if the man will put his ego away, right, or both of them, and seek for counseling and pray, I think that whatever problem there is in marriage can change. Problems can change.
Pastor, where's Jay? Jay should be here right now because he said I was opening it. No, it was Daniel that said I was opening a Pandora's box. I've really had a great conversation. Jay, I want him to come here and ask him, did you learn anything, my dear?
Well, I haven't picked so much of the conversation, but the part that I loved most was the ending where he just said that men, because of our ego, we don't want external forces to come and try and resolve issues that we are having in our home because we are built to resolve our own problems. And if women will learn to understand our DNA and how we are created, I think the home will be more peaceful.
But I think you guys are not always right. So if you open up a little bit and
well, the question is define right. What is right? Right will be only good for you as you know, in a misunderstanding, in an argument, in a deliberation, in a conversation. What you deem as right is what you feel works by your principles. You know, as a person. So if I feel that let's take path A and you feel path B is okay for you, it's because you feel it's okay for you in that instance. Not to say that the woman's input is undermined. No, it's not undermined. It is encouraged.
Well, it was a great conversation. I've had a fantastic show. Thank you for bringing me on this morning.
I'll shut it down.
You didn't shut it down anyway, but we'll be back tomorrow. It's going to be super as usual. Yes. We're going to be serving you amazing breakfast, like Jay says. Is it what? Beautiful?
It's a beautiful brand new day.
And we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much.
So la la la, shady gay gay ga ga ga, the Sahara, I'm in my way. Hey, yeah, me, yeah, come,